The unthinkable is happening right now over there in Detroit. And folks, if you're a Detroit fan, I'm sorry, because I do not know what is going down right now. What's up, everybody? Welcome into Bad for Baseball, the baddest baseball podcast on the internet. I'm your host, Nicholas Playlog, joined alongside by Adam Peddle. Last year, 12 months ago, Detroit went on some incredible epic, they had a 0.2% chance to go make the playoffs. They did it. It was incredible. It was historic. It's a Hollywood film, or should be. And now the reverse is happening, where they were at like a 99.9% chance to make the playoffs at one point.
Literally 99 to win the division right here.
Holy shit! No. This is playoff odds. This is playoff teams. Or no, this
win
is
the division. Yeah.
Win it. Wow. Okay, so that's crazy.
That's even crazier.
So even to win the division, they were at that. So to make the playoffs would have been even more than that. But either way, now they are dropping like a stone, and effectively the same thing that happened last year, where they went up in the odds. They're going down now. So talk to me a little bit about what the hell is going on with the Detroit Tigers.
Man, it's funny. So I'm stewing over it this morning. Obviously, I know they're on a terrible stretch. They're 5-12 in the month of September, and I'm stewing over it. I'm like, well, what is the problem? And I'm looking at all their stats, and we can go over together here. Their total runs in the terms of the month of September, they're ninth worst. And I looked at their players, and we'll get into some of the players later, but no one's really struggling other than Riley Green right now is really struggling. He's a core part of that team, but everybody else is kind of doing what they do. Tigers, very deep lineup. You look at the pitching staff right now. That is the key right there. They are fourth worst in all of baseball in the month of September. And again, looking over at who's doing bad right now, their core guys like Skubal, Mize, and Flaherty, they're still holding their weight. Montero still holding his weight. Chris Paddock, though, has not been very good at the pen. Morton has been bad. There's a few bad apples, but everyone else is still doing good. It's just when I look at their games that they're losing, it feels like they're either coming up short or the other team is just outbeating them in these close ball games. Feels like they're just losing. And AJ Hinch came out and talked about it, and he was very chill about the whole situation. No, I feel like we believe in our guys, and obviously managers are going to say that. Believe in our guys. We're going to stay the course. We're going to get right. It almost feels like they should be getting right soon. But the problem for them right now is you've got Guardians on your ass right now, and you have 1 week left of baseball, and you got to get right soon because, you saw the odds. They're starting to diminish right now. Well, it seemed like an almost guarantee that they were going to get the second bye in the AL and win that division is not guaranteed anymore.
No, not at all. Looking over at Detroit's schedule, they have the Guardians on the road, and this is really this could determine everything, for that AL Central. And then they're going to finish up with the Red Sox, which also actually is a big series too, because those are two teams that are fighting for a playoff spot right now.
Yeah.
So it's possible that Detroit could not only just lose the division, but could be out of a playoff spot, at the end of the series even. And then, God only knows what's going to happen with them in Boston, because when you look over at the wildcard standings right now, Detroit, yes, right now they are up there in the AL leaders, but they're at 85 wins. And then you look in the wild card, Boston's at 85 wins, Cleveland's at 84 wins, Houston's at 84 wins. So you got that series with Cleveland. That's going to determine a whole lot. If you can win that series, Detroit, you're almost good. I think you'll probably be
you'll
safe,
be good.
And you'll be okay at that point. But if you lose that series to Cleveland, one, that means that you've lost the division. So now you're going to be in the wild card spot, and then you're going to be on the fringe with Boston and Houston, and now you guys are going to be fighting it out, and then you got that series against Boston at the end that could determine everything.
Man, this is why I love September baseball for the teams that are fighting for the wild card, because this is becoming a playoff series now this upcoming Tuesday between the Guardians and the Detroit Tigers.
Pretty much, yeah.
Literally, right? And it throw a wrinkle into this whole mess, even if they did, I just thought about this now, even if they did win the series against the Guardians this week, so they take 2 and they lose 1, now they're up by 2. The big key here is they don't have the tiebreaker against the Guardians. So it might actually come down to the final series against the Boston Red Sox when they're on the road, because they're going to be fighting for their life if they lose that series to the Red Sox. Yeah. And the Guardians come out and they can somehow pull 2 more wins off of the Texas Rangers, are effectively out of this whole running right now. They're not making the postseason. If they can grab 2 more wins over the Detroit Tigers, if they lose the series even to the Tigers 2-1, then they will beat them because it will be the tiebreaker for that AL Central.
So even if Detroit wins the series,
Yeah.
if they go on to lose their following series and Cleveland wins their following series,
sweep them basically.
It's Cleveland again.
It's Cleveland. It's all playoff from here on out.
Yeah, that's crazy. So honestly, if you're Detroit right now, like you're kind of looking at the state of your team, you're looking at the state of the schedule, and even though you're still, I guess, favorited here, it is a scary place to be in. Now, I do understand that, A.J. Hinch is going to come out and he's going to try to pour some water on the flames of the freak out that's transpiring right now because, again, you do look at some of their key contributors, and I do think that pitching staff especially, like, I don't really understand
Me either.
why they have the one of the worst ERAs in September. Like, Skubal's still elite, and Casey Mize is doing great. Like, you have five guys, the five guys that have the most innings for your team right now in September
are all doing
are
good.
all like mid 3 ERA to Skubal's too. See, that doesn't make sense to me. So it's got to be right now that the bullpen is just like blowing up. I mean, like Sawyer Gibson, he's got 6 innings and he's got an 18 ERA. So clearly that guy's not doing you any favors right now. And I assume that the bullpen is just like blowing games.
Yeah, Seawald's been blowing it. It's been bad. Like you look at the bullpen right now. And I love looking at the last 14 days. Like no one's really popping off other than Holton and Canley, but that's it. Like, and that's the problem. And if obviously if you're Detroit Tigers fans, let us know, like, what is the problem? Because, I'm looking at this. Is it just, like, unclutch or non-clutch factor? Like, what's the issue right here? Are we not closing out games that we should be closing out? Are we blowing leads? Like, what's the problem
Well,
here?
I think it's yes to all of those things, really. And then they've let everyone they've let the door open or long enough now, let other teams hang around that now this is a serious thing. And I think that walking into this Cleveland series, just with the state of play of Cleveland, who's been incredible, by the way, in September. I believe they're 16-4.
16-4
in the month of September.
Magical.
So they've been insane. They're going to be at home. They're going to be hosting the Tigers. For me, I like Cleveland in that series. I like Cleveland to take 2 of 1, which means that automatically they are now going to be leading the division. And then you're going to be looking at Detroit sitting there at, I guess I would give them 86 wins, right in the middle of what you got to imagine Boston and Houston. And then it may come down to that final series of Boston and Detroit to determine the last playoff slot. Actually, this is a good question. Who's Houston playing?
That's a good question.
Can we look that up?
I'll look it up right now.
Yeah, I need to know who Houston's playing in the last little bit because if they can pick up some wins, then honestly, I do think it's going to work out that last series of Detroit and Boston might determine the final playoff spot.
It might.
And they're playing the Athletics and the Angels.
That's crazy. Yeah.
So
it should be. They will be on the road, so there might be an element there, but they should be able to grab some wins right there. But and then you got the Boston Red Sox. We know this because we are Toronto Blue Jays fans. They're playing the Toronto Blue Jays, the number 1 team in the AL this upcoming week, away at the Rogers Center. So Boston's going to be struggling to get some wins. It's going to be a tight battle. Like I think this is probably the closest in my time doing podcasting that the AL has been this much of a dogfight between all divisions and the wild card to get in there.
Well, there's 3 teams that I think are effectively safe, and that's Toronto, that's New York, and Seattle.
Yep.
And those guys are probably. Well, I mean, we know that Toronto's locked in. They clinched the other day, but the other 2 should theoretically be completely locked in as well. But I could 100% see a reality where any one of Detroit, Boston, Cleveland, or Houston, I could see a reality where any one of them doesn't make the playoffs.
Yeah.
Like that's a real thing that could happen.
One of them has to actually not make playoffs. One of them has to not.
Yeah, one of them has to not. So one of them isn't, but it could actually be any one of them.
Yeah.
It could be any one of them. And you look at Detroit, they've lost their last 6.
I know.
Houston's lost their last 3. It feels
no one wants to win.
Cleveland wants to win. Cleveland wants to win. Cleveland does want to win right now, and Seattle wants to win. Those are the 2 teams that really want to win right now. But other than that, I got no bloody idea. Point being, if you're Detroit right now, I understand if you're a fan why you think the sky is falling, because it does feel that way. I think that you have enough talent on that team to be able to do this, but they got to step up. And hey, I don't know what your rotation looks like right now in terms of how it's mapped out, but there's 6 games left. Yeah. I am forcing Skubal to go twice.
Yeah,
I'm finding a way where he goes 2 times.
It's playoff time now. Like you got to get to the playoffs. You got to make it. So with all that being said, who are you predicting to win the AL Central?
I think right now, for me, it's got to be Cleveland because the
Yeah.
tiebreaker.
Yeah.
The tiebreaker is actually
Yeah,
the biggest thing.
massive.
It's the tiebreaker for me. I think that they're going to win this series, which would then have them be one game up of Detroit. And then it's like, well, even if Detroit ties them, they still lose. So at that point, no, I think that it's probably going to be Cleveland. And then, who is going to be the odd man out in the playoffs? I have no fucking idea. It's like
I know.
I think it's gonna be. I think it really will come down between that Detroit series and the Boston series because Houston's schedule is real nice and cakey, and then I think it's gonna be whoever wins between Boston and Detroit.
Yeah, like I'm with you. I think the Guardians are gonna win, and honestly, my take to who's gonna miss the playoffs, I'm gonna guess it's the Boston Red Sox because you got Toronto and Detroit right at the end. Like they have it. Even though Detroit is struggling,
They're playing like ass.
They're playing like ass, but they do have it the toughest. Like they do have it because they're going to be in Toronto at the Rogers Center where they play really well there, and then you got to go. You do get to go back home for the final series, but it's going to be tough, man. It's going to be tough with Houston cakewalking and the Guardians flying up. I don't know. It's going to be a tough one.
Well, let us know your thoughts about all this in the comments down below. Please make sure to hit that like, smash that subscribe button, and we will catch you next time.
Cheers.